again.
Hi, Laura. Good to see you.
So I guess we can just start off with how has this week been for you?
It's been better.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit better with Jim.
Oh,
And, well, it was booked twice, but that's, I mean,
it's an improvement though.
it is. I wanted to every day, but.
Yeah.
No, yeah. And, I actually got to talk to both of my kids.
Awesome.
They called me, yeah.
How are they doing?
Really good.
Good. Good. So how did the activity go that you gave me? I see that you brought it with you. Can I take a look at it?
Yep.
All right. Let's look here. So it looks like your kind of ratings for your depressive feelings have reduced throughout the week. That's good.
Yeah.
Kind of how you've been feeling?
Yeah.
Good. So can you tell me a little bit about why you think they've decreased? How does it feel different?
Well, I don't really feel that tension
Mhm.
when Jim comes home. I think like, you know, I mean, we're not there yet, but we're working on it, and I feel like, he's trying more and I'm trying, and so things are going better with that, and I mean, I gotta talk to both my kids, and that's pretty cool that I didn't have to like keep calling or texting them, they actually contacted me, so.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really positive that you kind of make that connection that, you know, you feel really tense when you're around him, and that's kind of eased up this week.
Yeah.
That's good. So I really like looking at some of your positive thoughts for the day. So I can definitely see that, yeah, talking to your kids is really positive. There's some good positive thoughts with that. Can I ask, do they know what's going on at work? Do they know?
They know that I'm suspended,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't know why. I didn't tell them anything about the drug test and
Mm-hmm.
anything. They think I just had an accident or something. I didn't really go into details.
Yeah. So what might you, I mean, how do you think they would react? What do you think they would say if they found out what was going on?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe they would be disappointed. Maybe I'd find out something about them I didn't want to know. I mean, I don't know if maybe then they would think it was okay for them to do it. I mean, and I don't want any of, you know, the getting kicked out of college. I don't want any of that for them. So I don't know.
So it sounds like that's something you don't really want them to get into.
No, I don't.
And so I guess, you know, if they did that, that would be something you'd be kind of disappointed in.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, just because I wouldn't want them to ever go through this.
Yeah, kind of the
But-
consequences they might face.
Right. Right.
Well, it's good. It sounds like you really care about your kids. They're really positive in your life.
They are, yeah.
That's,
My
yeah,
family means everything to me.
that's great. So it sounds like it's a little difficult for you to stay home. Have you been working a long time? What age were you when you first started working?
See, I think it was about 15 when I
Okay.
started, and the only time off I've really taken is after I had my children. I took 8 weeks for both of them, and that was really the only time I haven't been working since I guess 15.
Yeah, so I guess, you know, that's no surprise that you've had these kind of increase in anxiety and depressive symptoms because it's really new for you. You know, if you've gone your whole life working, that can be a really big change. So I know sometimes for other people, when they go through any big changes, and including, you know, not working for that time, they can kind of feel a loss of identity, like they've kind of lost a piece of themselves. Do you think you're going through that at all? You're feeling that?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I've just always been a provider, and I mean, it gives me the reason to actually wake up and do something. I mean, I don't even think about it. I just, you know, it's part of me. It is part of my identity.
Yeah, that's a big change to have, not, you know, doing it for that amount of time. You kind of feel like you don't know what to do sometimes.
I have no idea.
Yeah. So what are some things you've done around the house? Do you think that's improved?
Yeah, I mean, I had a little bit more energy, especially after talking to my kids, so I decided to go to the grocery store, and I got the stuff to make Jim's favorite meal. He loves it when I make spaghetti and meatballs. I mean, simple, but he likes it, and it, I mean, it was fun.
Yeah.
Fun to cook. So I did that. I did some laundry.
Good.
Yeah.
That's really positive to see you kind of doing those things you liked before, you know, and slowly getting back into it. It's not gonna, you know, change overnight, but that's really positive. I bet Jim really liked it that you made his favorite meal.
I think he was surprised. I think he enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's great. 'Cause, you know, do something nice, something positive for your relationship, kind of, you know, get that communication up a little bit.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I can see by your journaling exercises, you had a little bit of decrease in the kind of anxiety you felt throughout the week, but not a whole lot. But I have to commend you on you only smoked twice, because I know that's been an everyday thing.
Yeah.
That's really, I mean, to go from every day down to 2 times in the week,
Yeah.
even though you're still feeling that anxiety, you know, that's really positive. Do you feel a little motivated, like you know, you can do it? You feel a little empowered?
Maybe. I mean, I had the anxiety that I didn't want Jim to leave me, so it was like that kind of outweighed the everything else going on, and so I mean, I did do it twice. But like I said, I kind of wanted to every day, but then that just kind of, yeah, I don't know. It was a hard week, I guess, in that respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, something about some of these symptoms, they don't completely go away, you know?
Mhm.
We normally, just as humans, always have, you know, feelings of anxiety at times. And the goal is to kind of, the more you do it, the more you feel anxiety and say, okay, but I don't have to smoke. And not because necessarily you think anything's wrong with it, but because it ultimately has these negative impacts on your life.
Yeah.
The job, the relationship with your husband.
Yeah.
So you make those choices every day. And so the more you start to tell yourself, I can get through this in other ways. You know, maybe it was talking to your kids, or, you know, getting up and cooking and doing something rather than sitting, you know, watching TV. And the more you do that, the more it kind of becomes the routine. So I think that's really positive, and it's, you know, very strong of you. I think that's great. You can tell you're really trying. All right, Emily, so last week we were talking about ways to decrease your anxiety, and then we would kind of try some strategies to help decrease it, so you'd feel like, you know, your only option was to smoke marijuana. Is that something you're still interested in doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try anything.
Okay, great. So there's a lot of different things we can use. The first one I want to do is one that's really common that you can do anywhere, and that is deep breathing. So it kind of sounds like, you know, what's that necessarily going to do, but it's really effective. So when, you know, we talked about some of the physical things you feel when you have anxiety, you know, you might tense up, feel sick to your stomach. So deep breathing really kind of slows your system down and tells it to kind of calm down. So it's helpful because not only does it give you a chance to, you know, sort out your thoughts, maybe that might be going, you know, really quickly all over the place.
Yeah.
It also tells your body to do the same thing. So it kind of decreases both at the same time.
How do I like remind myself to do this though when I'm like so lost in my own thoughts?
Yeah, it's one of those things that kind of, you have to start, you know, recognizing when you're feeling anxious, you know, when it starts to increase. And that journaling exercise that you're doing is one way to help you kind of recognize that. So the more you practice, the more you'll start to realize, I'm feeling anxious, you know, really notice those body symptoms, like you were talking about, you felt tense before when your husband would walk in.
Right,
And that
yeah.
kind of started to decrease, which is good. But notice those, you know, those physical symptoms, where you can tell maybe, you know, how you start talking, or that you can't sleep, or, you know, things, different symptoms people have with anxiety.
That makes sense.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't happen right away that you start to recognize it, because you get so used to being in this pattern of maybe you feel it all the time.
Yeah.
Right? So it's something that can decrease, you know, over time when you start to recognize it.
Okay.
So the way it kind of, the strategy I like to use for deep breathing is kind of count to 4. So count to 4 when you inhale. You inhale through your nose. 4, and then you take a little pause, and then you exhale through 4. So try to feel like you're completely getting kind of the air out.
Okay.
Okay. So In for 4, through your nose. Out through 3. Alright, so, and you kind of can think about, do you feel better to close your eyes and do it? Some people do and don't. It depends.
I don't know, let's try it.
Okay, alright, so you do it and we'll count to 4, okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, and then out, 2, 3, 4, and then in, 2, 3, 4, pause, out, 2, 3, 4. How does that, do you feel calmer when you do it?
You do.
Yeah. It's something that I think we don't think about a lot. Slows our breathing down. Have you ever felt like sometimes you are breathing hard or your heart's racing?
All the time.
Yeah. And so it's something to do, especially if you know, for example, times when you are anxious. You might start to notice you're journaling, you know, maybe I feel really anxious like right before my husband gets home.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe, you know, when I'm really triggered and I really am just stressed out. Do it in those times. You can do it anywhere, which is so great. You know, you can't exactly pull out your journal everywhere and say positive thoughts.
Right.
But that's something you can do. You can do it as much as it takes to kind of get you calm. So that's when, you know, just start this week, try deep breathing at different times.
Yeah.
Like I said, you'll notice more when you need it, when you start to really think about recognizing it.
Yeah.
A lot of times we don't even, you know, we're not worried about that. We're worried about these different things. But, so yeah, that can be really useful. Another kind of trigger you were talking about for you is just so much time on your hands, right?
Yeah.
Your day-to-day is just completely been flipped upside down.
Way too much free time.
Yeah. So, you know, I think some of the positive things that you've done this week is, you know, you talk to your kids, which there's such a huge support system for you. You know, it's really positive even having any contact with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you also talked about, you know, you cooked dinner, went to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's, you know, you have to get out and do stuff, and so that can be really difficult. It can be challenging. But ultimately, kind of when we challenge those little anxieties, it helps in the long term. So, what are some other things, you know, besides those that you think you can do throughout your day?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could work on maybe some cleaning projects. I mean, since I've been working so much, I've kind of neglected my closet.
Mm-hmm.
I could sort through that and maybe make a donation or something somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, declutter and vacuum and stuff.
Springtime, no better time for that.
Right.
Spring cleaning.
I probably could try to exercise or something at home too. I don't know. Maybe get like a video or something.
Yeah, like a little tape that you know, don't even really have to leave. It's just, you know, and that'll make it easier for you to do it, right? It's more of a huge challenge.
I can't go to the gym.
Yeah, yeah, that could be a big trigger in general, and then also that takes a lot of motivation, so you end up not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm the same way in general. And it's too much work.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting a little tape to commit to doing it. Yeah, well, that would be good. So, you know, sometimes when we have all this free time, it's good to make a schedule for the day. And so you can plan out kind of, you know, and hold yourself accountable. And don't make it so strict that you're going to feel bad if I don't get, you know, don't overload it. We're going to start slow. But make something like today I'm going to, you know, sort through my clothes and, you know, figure out what I want to donate or what doesn't fit, or, you know, so make that list and then say, you know, and I'm going to, I don't know, clean, like dust the house or vacuum, to make it achievable. You know, I think the cleaning stuff is a really good idea. Do you think that there's anything that you could do outside to get you outside a little bit in this nice weather we've been having?
Well, I mean, I guess the yard is kind of a mess. So I could get out and maybe try to do some yard work or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, I know my yard's a mess too after the winter we had. So
Yeah.
that would be good to get out. And do you have a garden or anything?
No, I don't have a garden, but, I have some flowers that I should probably see if they're gonna come back or not.
Yeah, I know. It's always that waiting period. We're kind of in that right now. Yeah. Well, that would be good. That's something that can, get you outside. Get a little vitamin D. Some beautiful weather.
Yeah.
Hopefully that stays. Don't get too much rain. So those are good things, to accomplish. What about? Is there anything that you can do that would get you around other people? Be a little social, have a little interaction.
Well, I mean, I guess I could call up my friends,
Mm-hmm.
see if, they wanted to come over for lunch or go to lunch or something.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Have you really seen them since any of this is happening?
This past week, no, I haven't seen them at all.
Do they know about what's going on?
A little bit, a couple do.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, they do, and, they're trying to be supportive also, so. I mean, I don't wanna tell them everything that's going on. I mean, I don't really talk about you
Yeah.
with them, cause I'm, I don't know what they would say
Yeah.
about therapy, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's understandable. It's something, it's not like you need to go out with your friends and discuss everything. It's a good time to just not think about it, right?
Yeah.
Not think about anything that's going on. Talk about the stupid stuff they're going to talk about sometimes. Just,
Yeah.
talk about nothing can be really healing and get your mind off of it.
Yeah.
So that would be good. Do you think, are these some of the friends that you usually drink or smoke with?
Yeah,
Yeah.
part of what we do.
Yeah, do you think that it would be a trigger for you with that, or do you think they know that you don't want to, or that you're trying not to?
I think they would do anything to make me feel better.
Well, that's really
And
good.
it is, but I think also knowing how badly I want to use,
Mhm.
I think they might let me.
Yeah.
So it might not be a good idea.
Do you think that you kind of mentioned going to lunch. Do you think if you just went out, like, for at least brief periods, like, we're just going to go to lunch, we're not going to, going out at night, is that kind of more of a trigger, going to, like, just hang out at night?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So maybe, and it could be that, that's not something you want to do right away, and that's okay. You know yourself, certainly better than I do. So, just keep it in mind and keep in mind maybe the best thing that you could do. So is it, going to lunch sounded positive, or getting coffee, something that is hard to, as opposed to like going out and drinking or going over to someone's house where that's just like
Yeah.
very readily available.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, just keep it in mind, keep in mind how you're feeling. Look at, what's good about the journaling is that you're going to be able to look back on different weeks and see, what was really positive about that. And it can be really uplifting to kind of see how you're doing and, that kind of stuff. So I definitely want you to continue the journaling. You did awesome. That was great. We talked about kind of at the end of the last session, things to assessments we kind of wanted to do.
Mhm.
And that's really just so I can see that progress. The journaling is one way, and this is kind of another way to see the progress. So the way that we do them is they're basically a paper where you're going to agree or disagree or how strongly you agree. It doesn't take very long. Today I wanted to do kind of the anxiety and the depression scales.
Mhm.
And it doesn't mean necessarily, the scores on it, you have depression. It's not that cut and dry.
Yeah.
Nothing is. It'd be nice if things were just black and white.
Well,
But it's more of just so we can gauge. And, we'll see how you're doing, throughout the sessions. We're not going to do them every time. That would be, a little too much. But just throughout to see how you're doing along with the journaling. And how you can, you can see how you're doing as well. So,
yeah.
I'm going to have you take the anxiety depression. They both take about 15 minutes. I'll be here. If you have any questions about what something means. And just, I guess the goal is to answer as honestly as possible. Again, everything stays in here, unless I thought there was some real threat of you harming yourself or someone else. Everything else stays in here. It's not, you know, anything we show to anyone else. It's just for you and me, basically. So do you have any other questions about what this like, or?
I mean, I don't know. I need to breathe some more.
Breathe in.
I'm just
That's
afraid to like look back on my answers at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't wanna, I don't know, it's kinda scary.
And something positive is also, you know, this idea that knowing you're gonna have ups and downs, right? That's just how life goes. We might, one week, you know, you've been doing awesome, and then the next week was just a bad week. Things happen, you know,
Mhm.
things trigger us big time. But it's that thought that you start to realize that you can get through those times, you know, that you can keep going forward. Because there's never that, you know, the only guarantee is we know, you know, things aren't gonna go as planned.
Yeah.
So it can be, you know, it is a little scary, and certainly something you don't have to do. You know, you don't have to go back and look on that stuff. It's kind of that, you know, if we were to look at a picture of you from high school 2 years ago, and you're like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? It's that little like cringy feel sometimes. But, you know, also I think it's a real sign of strength to say, you know, I've been through this and I've got, you know, and I got through it and here I am. So, I think, you know, I think it could give us a good idea of where you're going throughout it. Do you feel comfortable doing it today?
Sure.
Okay. And I'll be here, you know, if you have any questions throughout. And so otherwise I will just give you these to do. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay.